Hamas terrorists carried chemical weapons manual, says Israel as horror footage of atrocities is released. Hamas terrorists were caught allegedly carrying a chemical weapons manual as Israel released horrifying new footage of atrocities. Israeli President Isaac Herzog said a guide to using deadly toxins was found on the body of a Hamas fighter. Herzog added the USB storage device was Al-Qaeda material on how to weaponize cyanide. It was found in Kibbutz Be'eri, where a fifth of the 1,100 residents were killed or kidnapped in the October 7 horror. Herzog said, "We're dealing with ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Hamas. In this material, there are instructions on how to produce chemical weapons. This speaks about arson, speaks about various chemicals that come out and produce chemical weapons. This is how shocking the situation is. We're looking at the instructions on how to operate and create a kind of non-professional chemical weapon with cyanide." The source of the documents was understood to be from a known 2003 Al-Qaeda manual, but the discovery on the body of the fighter could not be verified. When asked about the chemical threat, Michael Edelstein, a major general in the Israeli Defense Forces, said, "We are still looking for evidence about whether they had it or not. But the orders were there, as our President Herzog mentioned, orders were there on how to kill, how many to kill, how many to take as hostages." Israel said it had been forced to release footage of the massacres to thwart a misinformation campaign by deluded supporters of its terrorist enemy. The Islamist group whose savages killed 1,400 after swarming out of Gaza on October 7 have denied targeting civilians. Their backers have rebutted Israeli claims despite evidence showing families were butchered. At least 10 Britons were killed during Hamas's cross-border rampage and 6 are said to be still missing. Among the victims is Brit teen Noya Sharabi, 16, who on Sunday was revealed to have been murdered in the same attack that left her sister, 13, and mum dead. Israeli government officials yesterday decided to screen CCTV and body cam footage taken from Hamas fighters to create an almost unwatchable montage. One clip shows a small child being shot as she cowered under a table and a newborn's body charred beyond recognition. In another, a terrorist manically beheads a dead man with a shovel while screaming, "Allahu Akbar." One clip showed a father being blown up by a grenade and the 2 young sons being spattered with his blood as they flee. Yet another showed the lifeless body of a woman being thrown from a car as terrorists cheered. In one, a Hamas killer can be heard gloating on the phone as he calls his mum to boast of his savagery. He said, "I killed 10 Jews with my own hands. I'm using the dead Jewish woman's phone to call you now." The mother replies, "May God protect you." He continues, "Father, I killed 10 Jews, check your WhatsApp. I sent you the photos. I killed 10 Jews with my bare hands, father, be proud of me." Viewers invited to the 45-minute screening yesterday reeled in horror with some weeping as the brutality was laid bare. It was held as a captured Hamas fighter revealed his comrades were under direct orders to carry out unspeakable atrocities. The 24-year-old member of Hamas's Zaytan battalion was filmed under interrogation revealing he had been told to behead women, children, and the elderly. The fighter said he had been told to treat his Jewish victims like animals and even sexually abuse the bodies of murdered women. The new Israeli claims look certain to spark a fresh storm as they point to Hamas commanders telling their fighters to carry out sickening crimes. The captive soldier says in video clips released by the IDF, "They tell us to kill, massacre them everywhere. In the religion, they say it is forbidden to kill children, women, the elderly. In the army, the commander will tell you, stomp on their heads, behead them, do whatever you want with them." Hamas is accused of continuing to launch rockets and store weapons near hospitals and schools. Israel's air and artillery blitz intensified yesterday as the number of Palestinians killed since war erupted was said to have topped 5,000, including 2,000 children. The Hamas-run health ministry in Gaza claimed 436 Palestinians including 182 kids were killed in Israeli strikes in the past 24 hours. A British-Israeli man killed in the October 7 Hamas attacks as he defended a kibbutz was named by his family as Yosef Gud Alia, 22.